All right, I will record for Mel.
Mel's not with us today because Mel's out with her mum, if you remember. She's
Yeah,
out today.
I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Here comes Jules again.
Sorry, it was
Wrong button.
we started recording and it shut me down for some reason.
That's weird. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, there was loads and loads of cutlery on the beach where people were obviously having picnics.
Oh,
So yeah, it's really weird. And then we got a free little mug because they opened up a tea shop.
Oh wow.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
It is.
So,
It's good colors.
It's going to be interesting, Jules, because in 3 weeks' time, I think it is, my Rotary Club, we're doing a beach clean as part of the Marine Conservation Society. We buddy up with them, and there's a local beach we've done the last few years. In
wow.
last year when we did it,
I've done it in Portsmouth.
Yeah. But last year when we did it, we noticed there's a lot more of the PPE equipment, like face masks and all that sort of stuff around. But we were finding like things like fishermen's knives, fishing line, all sorts.
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, the thing is, the tide's out, so there's I think a lot of it's been swept out to sea, but around the groins, there's loads of plastic and toys, people's plastic toys and things like that. So it was worthwhile. I'm really pleased I've done it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in my B&B at the moment, so this is a different view.
Oh yeah. I see the painting and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, but it's not mine.
All right, then let's do one of yours. All right, yeah, we can start sketching with pencil. So yeah, it's kind of big. So we will start with this horizontal part, and then leaving space for the lock. So somewhere. Yeah, it can be also not really straight horizontal. It can go a little bit maybe down. Still, all this idea of old stuff is really. And then we will mark this places where it's connected. So these screws. And okay, I think I will mark also. So once I have the long line, I can mark these two vertical, the black ones, and then it will be easier to place other stuff. In general, like paper in three parts. And the vertical black ones can also be different size. So one may be bigger, one a bit. All right. So
randomly, someone's playing bagpipes in their house next door. As you do. I thought I'd just throw that in.
So once I have these two lines, then it's easier for me to place, this the rest two screws, where they're going. This. And then here in the middle we have this metal part. Take also maybe time to draw this part here where the lock is inside. Basically kind of there will be light and shadow, but does really something like this. Yeah, so in this painting, it will be really interesting with all these shadows. Yeah, they really play kind of almost main part. So the lock, don't forget also to make the thickness, yeah, even if it's in the shadow, but still. Here. You can also, like, once you go, you can also mark the shadows, yeah, for yourself. Depends if it helps. All right, yeah, the shadow. So sometimes you can even go with a little bit with the pencil, yeah, like parallel. Sometimes it helps if there are like too much lines, then you can get confused or yeah, forget which one was. And then also we will mark a little bit, yeah, all these lines of the wood. Of course, not all of them, just maybe the ones that are, you know, where the wood goes in circles, yeah. So a little bit, yeah, I can mark direction. So generally it will be straight lines, but some of them, of course, we can make a bit more interesting. Here. This. Here on the middle, but just really a little bit, yeah. So there's just approximate. See here also the shadow. It continues with the fallen shadow of the horizontal long stick. Yeah. That goes and it finishes. I mean, it breaks here, yeah, on this metal part that is going vertically down. Yeah, so it's also kind of important to make these differences, yeah, because the shadow shows us how the object is, yeah, how big it is, what shape it has. So, yeah, also, for example, on these screws, yeah, we can see that the shadow there is a bit shorter. Yeah, so under the long stick, it goes in one side, then it kind of jumps. Yeah, maybe, and then when the metal part, yeah, then it's gone. I mean, it's very little. It's just from. Yeah. All right. Yeah, take your time to finish. No rush. We're really good in time. Yeah, I'll talk a bit of the paint. So the one I have is the Payne's Gray. It's also the one that I suggest, you know, once you're in the shop, you can get it. I have this huge tube. It's really maybe not necessarily that big because you use it really little. Yeah, it's very intense, dark. So for example, all these, so these two black lines, I did it with this paint. I mean, it looks like black. But what is good, once you mix it with white, it becomes really kind of bluish gray. Yeah? And it's also, for example, if you're sketching some silhouettes, yeah, some people, it could be really good because there is a good game between this black and becoming a bit this bluish gray. Yeah, because if we take just black and mix it with white, then we get this gray, and it might be, yeah, not so interesting. So yeah, and then of course I have one bigger, like a little bit bigger, wider brush. Yeah, we're gonna go for kind of covering all the background of the wooden part. Yeah, and then of course later I use smaller brushes for, yeah, all these lines, details. Yeah. And today it's not so much paint, so then you can have them black. And then I have umber, so brown, yeah, and light brown. And I also have one nice, it's gold. I don't use it as much, yeah, as I thought when I bought it, but with this lock it went perfectly, yeah, because all these kind of highlights. Yeah, so of course you can go with the yellow, but it gives a really shiny effect. Yeah, so when it's like metallic object, yeah, then I will start putting my paints. So first one will be black, yeah, this gray paints. What you can do also, for example, you can take, let's say you have some dark blue, yeah, you can mix a little bit. Mixing blue and black also works nice, yeah, and then you add white, but still, so the color I'll be looking now, it is really, so this base, yeah, it's pretty much white, yeah? So the base layer for the wood. Yeah, so I really need much more white than that. Maybe you can see my palette turns. Yeah, so it's grayish, but it's kind of bluish. Yeah, and it can be also pretty much watery. Yeah, we're doing acrylics. Yeah, so. This one goes away. Yeah, so what I do, I just go all around and cover where the wood is. Yeah. And this one I have, yeah, this grayish blue. I think it works really. Yeah, and I still can see my pencil. Yeah, so as it's light. And then of course you can do a little bit different color for each of the parts. Yeah, let's say the left one was a bit darker. And then we go. Yeah, so I'm leaving the metal parts, I'm leaving outside. Yeah, and then of course I try to go only vertical with my brush. So no, yeah, as the wood goes, no horizontal stripes there. Of course, you can go over the shadow, yeah, in some place. I mean, of the black part, you know, no problem. It gets covered. Yeah, but the parts that are brown, then of course I try a little bit more. And before you joined, Jules, Darren was showing me looked his new photo shooting pictures, and really amazing. There's butterfly, but I think it's already up to a lesson, and this one, really, really nice.
Butterfly sounds nice.
Yes, and it's not only butterflies, it's a really awesome flower and butterfly there, and then it's not sure, it's like a bee. Yeah, maybe
it's a bumblebee next to it as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, amazing. And it's really crazy. Like, what kind of zoom it must be? Really.
It's actually just that. It's just out in the wild. It's a place called Lockpool Dam, close to where me and Mel live, and it's just it's almost like a sort of nature reserve down that way. So it's just lovely to go to for nature walks.
Yeah.
Bagpipes are still going. Random, isn't it, in Worthing? Well, we're near Scotland.
Right.
Yeah, I'm up for a butterfly and a bee and a flower.
Yay. This one can be also challenging because it's white. Yeah, so if we can think something, Juice is good for the background, so it could be some interesting background. Yeah, and then like white spot with just a little bit gray, yeah, shadow touch-ups. Yeah, and I'm kind of the pictures Darren sent me the time earlier, yeah, of the sports. Yeah, I think one day we could also, if you want, of course, experiment, you know, like a quick sketching. So we can, for example, choose, let's say, 5 pictures, and then each can give maybe 15 minutes and try to sketch just this kind of practice the quick sketching. Yeah, so it's totally different what we usually do. I mean, yeah, but can be interesting. But like when you're trying to learn people, that's what they say. Just go sit in the park and or on the beach and just the shape, yeah, because you have to do it quickly and just with 2 lines. Yeah. All right.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm going next with the black. Yeah, so I'm keeping with this my gray paints color, but if I take it intense, yeah, it looks like black. Yeah, don't forget to jump where the stick is starting. Yeah, and we do the. It's also kind of giving a bit time to dry, yeah, because I used water. So. Yeah, and of course this line doesn't have to be great, perfect. Yeah, and all these old style, like the more the shape is kind of not perfect, the better it is. And on Wednesday I had the first lesson with the kids, and it was really fun. Yeah, we did this cat with the watermelon, and yeah, it's really fun. I think it was the most fun part was in the end when they all were sharing the drawings, yeah, and they could see the drawings of others. Was emotional, the kids.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
So,
did they all enjoy it? Well, that's the main thing.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for, because of course with kids it's yeah, they it's fun. Yeah, and then of course I realized sometimes I start explaining drawing almost like to adults, and then of course I realized they won't follow, yeah, this complexity of eye that I was trying to explain how to draw. Yeah, I still have to
It's funny.
Yeah, to measure it, to practice the understand.
It's going to be rewarding on both sides, isn't it, for you and for them?
Yeah, I really hope it will work, and emotional. It was really, I was like, I think 1 hour after the lesson, still kind of, yeah, I'm smiling emotions. And you get to think also about like fun things to paint, because then I asked them, so what do you like to paint? And they've chosen, oh, let's do some galaxy and cosmos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all right, once you've done with lines, yeah, once we have this black on our brush, we can go also for some shadows that we know already. For example, the log and under the stick, but I will still mix it a little bit, so I'll make it a bit lighter, yeah, not so black as these lines, because then it's supposed, of course, it's just space in there, but so the shadows. So don't forget also the shadow on the left side, and also so of these parts where the screws are. Yeah. So on the left side we also do this little shadow. Yeah, and also try maybe to make it also different in each screw. Yeah. So like if you study this reference picture we had, then they're all different. Yeah. So it's also because so the light is falling, and then each object is differently far away. So one will get different shades. Yeah, we don't forget that the shadow on this metal vertical part is the little one. Yeah, so there is some, but it won't be as big as. Yeah, so and the drawing now also helps us to define. Yeah? Then later it will be easier if you go just with this light and dark brown around, that you have all this set up ready. Yeah, so all this, also this curvy part of, so where the screws are and this part that's going over, yeah, we make it also the shadow there. In the left upper corner. Yeah, and the shadow also depends. For example, if this part is kind of sits better on the wood, there is less shadow. Yeah, if because it's a bit lifted up. And let me see. So means we can play a bit around. Yeah, and the screws itself, they're all different. Yeah, one got maybe older, yeah, with all this rust. The other ones, the opposite, look more cleaner. Yeah, when the places where we usually touch with hands, yeah, then it gets like kind of polished. And so all these details, they make this type of drawings effective. Mm-hmm. So this side of the lock, I can also mark black. Yes, and later when we go with browns, yeah, we can define the difference between this falling shadow and the side part of lock, yeah, that is in the shadow. But marking now all together, yeah, because we're still looking. I remember this uniting idea. Yeah? So when nothing is jumping out of the shadow. So later we can add some touch-up, yeah, to make it feel, yeah, there is difference in tone, but when you look from far away, still it should be all together. And there is also shadow here under, so this metal tongue. It's a little bit also lifted up. Yeah, but no, I mean, it doesn't have to be so really detailed, perfect now at once. Yeah. Also, maybe I get also carried away. We should go a bit more. Getting like into details is really something I, for example, personally really have to control, because then kind of tentative to. But generally, of course, the painting should go more like a whole thing. Yeah, you do one part, another. Yeah, you can do parallel. Right. Yeah, and of course later we can add a bit more dark where it's needed. I will change very quickly my water. Yeah, it's black.
So Darren, have you done that litter picking before?
Yeah, my Rotary Club, we've done it the last 2 years. Both years we've teamed up with the Marine Conservation Society. The first year was purely because the beach we chose to do, they actually do every year as part of a national survey. So we just thought we might as well buddy up to do it, which was great. Yeah. Just share resources like the manpower, etc. Last year with COVID, we teamed up. We still managed to do it, but on a much reduced numbers. And we thought we'd do it, try and do it again this year. So
that's good.
Fingers crossed it all goes ahead.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to browns. So I put umber, dark brown, sienna. Yeah, still mixing brown with black also good. Yeah, for some parrots. And then I'll go with my gold one. Yes. And you can also use a little bit of red if you want, like very little, to mix with some both brown and yellow. Yes, sienna. Yeah, but I'll start without red, and then later, you know, when you go with the work, like painting it, and you see maybe I'm missing some color. Yeah, I would like to add maybe a little different tone. Yeah, red could work to create some. Yeah, and I will go on with the dark brown. Yeah, so they kind of from black shadow and then going more to light. So all these dark shadows on this stick. Yeah, so the shadow that is not falling, but the shadow that is on the stick itself. Yeah, so kind of half of it on top is with light. Yeah, and it's kind of also between gray and yellow, light yellow. Yeah, where the light is. And then, so I'll go with the dark brown shadow somewhere where it is, and I'll mix it, yeah, with a little bit of black. So I'll have two piles. I will have like blacky brown, and then let's say lighter brown. I can, yeah. And now I go already with a bit drier brush. Yeah, so then it's kind of also not so much as moving brush, but tapping. Yeah, a little bit too dark. Yes, in the end, in the palette, you'll have like a bunch of tones of brown. Then you can experiment. Yes, again, it's not one straight line. It's more like tapping and creating a bit of rusty structure. And yeah, somewhere yes, somewhere not. And so I can leave some white spaces. Yeah, and later I will get in there with yellow. Yeah, also if you feel, for example, that I'm putting brown and then my shadow that is under the stick is lighter, yeah, I can then later come back and put a bit more black there. Yeah, so then it's so. Yeah, but still we can also give time a bit, yeah, and take more stuff, yeah, and then when you look and decide, okay, which part is kind of not in its tone, yeah, of darkness. Yeah, you can do some touch-ups on spruce, yeah. And then one I do brown, another I do now it will be really playing with the different tones, yeah. So you go to one color, another, then you can go back. Yes, also the lock and then the metal curvy part of lock. Then we also have this falling shadow. Yeah, that is a pretty dark one. And here, for example, I can do and touch a little bit this side of the lock. Yeah. And then just it feels, yeah, it has depth. Yeah, and then I'm playing with my dry brush parts. And we can switch to lighter brown. Yeah, there's some stuff there. Yeah, still, for example, the horizontal stick, still leave it a little bit not so darky. Yeah, even if you put already shadow, you can of course go over with some. Yeah. Having more light is also. And so I'm working now with this Sienna Yellow. And then, for example, I found it really not so hard to create this painting. Yeah, but when people look from outside, they find it really effective. Yes, all this. You know, but as a painters to create it, it's kind of not so complicated. And I'm mixing here a little bit gray again, yeah, light gray. And then I can, for example, use it together with yellow. So the parts where light is. Yeah, let's say I'll have. Yeah. And what's also, for example, this stick, yeah, and the upper part is in the light. So what actually I will do, I will create a bit more darkness on the wood, yeah, where like this border is. And then I will get it this, the feeling that it's the light there. It's shining. So I'll show now. I'll go. So I'll come back to my gray. Yes, and let's say, yeah. So this. Yeah, you can see so I'm making darker the wood behind the stick. Yeah, and then that means I can leave it a bit also lighter. Yeah, and below on the where the falling shadow is, I can do also kind of maybe it's better later. But when we do stripes, I mean, there's also goes a bit darker, but I see now it's only we need to do the stripes first. So yeah, I'll continue just playing with the yellow, brown, mixing in between. So also in general, the right side of the stick is lighter. Yeah, it goes a bit darker to the left. Yeah, and both also. So sometimes I do with my brush, it's dry. Yeah, so it's kind of this dry touch-ups. And somewhere I can make more watery, more transparent. Yeah, and then just kind of filling some spaces. Yeah, and also finger works really nice. Yeah, to take something off and leave it. Nice. If you kind of done, yeah, you can also leave it dry or rest. Yeah, this part. You can go change for the lines of wood. Yeah. Yeah, in general, it also works. Yeah, especially with this kind of detail. Yeah, where if like little part has to be different, yeah, one gets tired. So it's good just to get some switch and just okay, I go do other lines because with these lines one also like does because you have it's kind of layer on top. And yeah. So we can start and then go back. Yeah, so I did okay some touch-ups on the lock as well. Yeah, prepared maybe some tones and then leave it sit. Nice. So for the wood, I suggest to work with two brushes. Yeah, so let's one could be making lines, and the other one is more covering space. Yeah, and yeah, try to feel also the amount of water. Yes, we know that of course if there is no water, the brush won't paint easily. Yeah, so for example, for the line, for the straight line, it's a little bit better, yeah, to have more water on the brush. Then you just go with one stroke. Yeah. So it's kind of you have more paint also, more amount of paint. Yeah. So it's when you're interested in the paint in strokes. Yeah. And then I would use the second small brush, a bit wider. And then it will help me like parallel just to cover spaces. So we see some spaces are more yellow, yeah, some spots. So we will be playing also with this. and also kind of, so the brush that is going to the surface, it can be also more drier one, yeah, because then we all get this brush strokes. Yeah, so then I'll just tap my napkin, yeah, and then I can go kind of also playing. Yeah, but first maybe like creating some lines could work. Yeah, so just give some direction. Yeah, it can be also can mix. One line can be black, one can be brown. Yeah, of course, they're in general just dark one. But yeah, and this also no worries at all if some lines are, yeah, the brush maybe not so thin, you get them fed, and then with the second one we'll correct. Yeah. So we can start also going in with some parts that we have decided, yeah, somewhere this circled wood. Yeah, we can mark them, and then the rest can go pretty much straight. Yeah, and of course, yeah, we can create some lines also more fast. Yeah, and some like break the lines, yeah, just move them. So we have, yeah, we just like we did 1 hour, so we have, yeah, a lot of time, no rush, and kind of try to enjoy, yeah. Also feel a little bit opposite of the work of palette knife. Yeah. When you go one touch, ready. Yeah. Kind of like maybe it could be some palette knife with some like teeth, you know, like a saw. And maybe one can. Jules, you're gonna tell us?
I couldn't. I can't use a pan knife here. I'm away, so I'm using watercolor at the moment.
All right. I was already expecting to say, yeah, I did all these lines with the palette knife.
No, I would like to. Yeah, I just didn't want to bring my acrylic paint with me. I don't want to get it everywhere. It's not my house. So
yeah. Sure, yeah, watercolors are safe, but
yeah, at least it comes out with everything then.
yeah.
I'm not saying I would, but you know, it's best to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's absolutely. But also with aquarels, I remember when I used to paint a lot with aquarels, but my painting was always getting this kind of intense as if it's acrylics. Yeah, so like I was using watercolors, but in the end it would feel as it's acrylics. So it's like makes no sense to take acrylics. But I mean, with watercolors, you can do this also kind of intense lines and not watery.
I brought all my paint brushes so I can like go into detail if need be.
Yeah.
And the bagpipes are still going. Someone's just shouted out over the wall to him, saying, "This is getting really annoying now. Come on." It's quite funny. Been going for ages. How long have we been doing it? An hour? It's been going an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now I'll go with so the lines. Yeah, now I will go just play a little bit with the brush to create surfaces. Yeah, so in between the then it will also help kind of finish, like get the stuff sooner. Yeah, I mean, instead of doing all very with lines, that would be really maybe like meditation. You just sit and draw the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and color meaning, it's also like this one is like brown, yellow, black, and it's so not much. Also kind of good maybe to have lots of things. Yeah? In general, I know there is also exercise when you're giving only one paint, and then you have to do all just with one. Yeah? Of course, you can mix with white, with same black, but like when you're starting, you're tempted, to buy all tones, and then of course you just get carried away because. And if you learn to paint just with 1-2 basic colors, it could also be interesting exercise. Maybe if we practice people, sketching. Okay, I'll think how it works, because sketching is usually with the pencil, but I'm tempted to use brush and colors. So. Yeah, so play around. So somewhere I'm taking like really pure yellow, and I have this gold and creating really light. Yeah, so pretty much. Yeah, and then in general, you can sit back and decide, okay, which part maybe could be darker or. And so this dry brush that I have, I'm kind of moving it freely in the air, and sometimes it touches the paper, sometimes not. Yeah, and then I get this wooden stripes. Also, one can do, so for example, it feels maybe too light. Yeah, I can go again, like kind of maybe cover a little bit all together with the darker. Yeah, let's say this. Like this base color. Yeah, but I still can make it kind of transparent. Yeah, so I can still kind of save lines I did, but I just go with a darker tone. Yeah. And we are really missing Marina. She disappeared. I was afraid. Yeah, it was summer, but let's see if she texted her. Yeah, so for example, I really can feel once my brush is a little bit too wet, then of course I just get kind of not these dry brush stripes, but just, yeah, the color. So, like having a paper towel, yeah, and just tapping a few times really helps. So, like I still get the paint safe, but then I can control the strokes. Yeah, and then when you can, so it's kind of in between, yeah, the stripes with the brush, just drawing some lines and setting the tone in between. Yeah, and then of course, if you feel to, you can come back to the log part, yeah, and maybe give some details a bit more. Yeah, because in general, the log and the stick should be the ones that are worked kind of more detailed, yeah, and of course our the wooden parts, their background. Yeah, and then, for example, like taking my thin brush, black paint, and then I can come back to, yeah, maybe retouch and shadow some contour, yeah, of some parts, like the screws and this part where, yeah, where it's fixed. So a little bit kind of, yeah, especially if you got lost maybe in all this, yeah, I mean, to make it more concrete, more not blurred, yeah. To put some accents in some parts. Yes, and of course, all these, for example, these parts, yeah, where the lock is hanging, yeah, and we see this falling shadow from this kind of square part, yeah, where the lock is hanging itself, yeah, and it's giving the shadow on the lock part, yeah. These are really details yeah, once you put them, kind of changes the, it gives really this reality, the feeling of, it's really there, it's hanging. I mean, and of course these things you know just by watching the nature, the object itself. So I'm also kind of thinking how to experiment and to try maybe painting also not from pictures, but to do some kind of life setting. So maybe either I still have to think like going outside would be cool, but set up somehow a camera so you could see the same what I see, and then we just try to paint, because it's so completely different paint outside stuff, but then we don't have all these details we see on the picture. Because on the photo it's really like it gets us carried away. So when you see just like let's say mountain view outside, you see more whole, so I think experiment. Especially because on my side the summer is coming, so and I'm really happy waiting for it was because somehow like when it was like last year COVID, then I was here also in Chile, it was winter, then I came back to Latvia, it was winter, and I came back here, it was winter. I was like 3 winters in a row, like come on.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not good.
but because also
it's not good.
I used to do always summers, I would be, and then this is somehow COVID, he got me, I had to stay longer in Chile, and because everything was locked when it all started. So now I'm trying to change again my schedule to summers, from summer to summer.
Yeah, super exciting.
But it's fun, it's good we have our Earth two-sided, so one is, so feel free also, Darren, if you have questions, feel to send. So maybe coming back a bit to details of the rusty stick and log, and work more a bit on it. Also, the log, for example, if we see the picture, and we see, of course, it has like a bunch of different colors, so some part is rusty, some is like this, and you see it's all mixed. But I mean, we can put all these colors together, so I would put yellow and gold, like shiny ones, and then, but then in one moment, still I would take some paint, like watery brown, and I would go all over, the log, so kind of uniting. And then also like kind of go back and check, which parts maybe could be darker, Yep. So in the end, the lightest stuff is this the round part of log, then this little square where it's hanging. Yeah. So we have these two highlights there, and then of course the horizontal part. Yeah, but then it's not, of course, one line. It's a little bit. Yeah, and you can always come back, like going back and putting back highlights. Something, it's not like you've decided where it is once and you put it. Yeah, like you paint and you always come back to the important parts and make them either darker or lighter. Yeah, so I'll work a little bit on my wooden part. Well, of course, very excited to see the Jules experiment. I know she never goes our classical painting way.
Yeah, mine needs to dry again.
Sometimes I wonder, I was like, Jules comes to paint with us, but she's painting.
It's in my head.
Yay!
Yeah, it's very wet. I need to go, I have to leave it to dry a bit before I can get the detail in.
Yeah.
I think they've got a hairdryer in there. I'm going to go have a look. I'm going to investigate.
Sure, yeah.
So they must have it. They must have a hairdryer.
Yeah. If there is a woman living, it should be there.
I'm not saying a word. I'm staying out of that.
Look, found one. I found one.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, I found it. Look, I'm just going to turn my sound off.
Sure, yeah, thanks. Yeah, when I paint with aquarels, hair dryer is kind of really handy because, of course, it takes longer for watercolors to dry, and it's connected with patience. You know, then it's hard to get patience, especially, you know, because in aquarel, this system of doing one part and painting then another and then coming back. So this works like a lot because you really need to give it some time to dry. Otherwise, you just ruin, yeah, when you get in. And so there is really, you kind of also plan, okay, well, put the tone, yeah, for the sky. Then I will leave it to dry, and meanwhile I'll do some ground, and then I'll come back. But then again, in aquarels, it's really also this moment, yeah, when it's not dry yet. It's very kind of moving. So it's. I have my friend. She does mostly watercolors. Yeah? She also does workshops. And when I joined her, just to paint like for me, I still do watercolors as acrylics. I kind of, I don't know, all this fluidy part. Yeah, but she really knows. It's really kind of, you also use the special brushes that they're kind of big and they're really soft. And then it's really like one stroke. If you go over and over, then yeah, it looks ugly. Yeah? So it's really like one beautiful stroke. And that's where you really get spend lots of paper, yeah, because it's kind of, you do, oh, it didn't work, then you yeah, the paper goes to garbage. But it's also nice. I mean, it's it depends.
Sorted.
Yay! And she's back to brushing.
Yeah, I'm back.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for example, what shouldn't do now, I've tried it and I knew it would be a mistake. So I draw kind of a line, a black line above the stick. Yeah, so where I was telling you just create tone, yeah, because putting there like a straight line, because the idea was to mark it more affected against of the wall, yeah, but making one horizontal line doesn't work because it feels like a shadow, yeah. So yeah, if I want to show this my upper part of this stick that is in light, yeah, then I really go and come back to the wall and making wall darker. Yeah. But I'm doing these brush strokes up. Yeah. Yeah, can go back and do some maybe details with this screws. Yeah, depends how it feels, if it's needed. Yeah, maybe a bit darker, some of them.
Just sending you mine through, Evie.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, nice. Nice.
Let's have a look.
So let me think. Like looking from far away, yeah.
Nice. Like that.
Like the lock I really like, yeah. The lock part, very good job on this shadow. Yeah, that I was mentioning, this thickness of lock and then shadow. So from far away it looks together, yeah, but I still can feel, yeah, the difference where the shadow, where the lock. The only like I look far away and I feel the wood is a little bit like too shiny. Yes.
Yeah.
So like this yellow, so maybe just you can take really watery light brown, yeah, and just go over, because it's kind of more, I would like, you know, this shiny could be really good, yeah, for this metal part, yeah, but the wood itself, so yeah, could maybe just kind of calm down the yellow.
So would that be a light brown? Would that be a light brown color?
Yeah. So what, even like you could have also already something on your palette going on, and I just take my brush, make it kind of wet, yeah, and here I take some really kind of transparent brownie. So I'm just kind of picking up what I have here, yeah, and let's say here on my example, yeah, and I just go over the yellow parts, yeah, and they can stay yellow, but they lose the this shyness, so they can, but it's really, so in this case kind of watercolor, yeah, really just water transparent, yeah. And what else? For example, the opposite. So this really nice shiny yellow, you can put here. You see this vertical line, yeah, because it comes kind of together with this highlight on the curvy part of lock, yeah, and there's this frontal part of the square, yeah, where it's hanging.
Yeah.
So could be just. I think it could give a really nice accent.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but really well done. Yeah, and then of course,
good.
Yeah, wood. Also, like it has the feeling. Yeah, so I could see maybe it's not so much lines, but yeah, especially when we create this kind of wooden moments. Yeah, that you did on the right vertical part. Yeah, this 4. Yeah, so this kind of gives the feeling, okay, it's wood. Yeah. Yeah, so if you want, like, you choose, yeah, there is still a lot of time. If you kind of fill up to painting, you can create maybe some of, yeah, just practice and create, let's say maybe somewhere, yeah. Here, create one more, some this wooden circle. But very cool, nice. And from far away, so I'm putting like now my phone far away to see. Right. Jules, do you want to send us a glimpse?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't really finished, and I started going a bit crazy. I haven't taken the tape off yet. I know you'll laugh. It's fine. Okay, I haven't finished this yet. Okay, you know what I'm saying to you.
I promise.
I've just got this image in my head.
Yes.
Of this lock is bleeding. I don't know why, but it's bleeding in my picture.
Amazing, I love it. The interpretation. Whoa. Yeah.
I haven't finished yet.
Oh wow, Jules, that's good.
Sorry about that, but it's a bit crazy.
I like that.
Yeah, but I haven't finished.
But very expressive. So
I am tempted when I get home to do it in acrylic. But what I will do is draw out on a really, really big piece of paper, make the lock. I thought what I might do is get the knives, do a background, make it like wood with different colours, but do the lock separate and then stick the lock on. And then that way it's like 3D, but also then I wouldn't have to worry when I'm using the knife to go downwards.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to worry about the lock.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what happens when you're listening to bagpipes for an hour.
Jules, I'll make just one comment.
Yes, please.
So, I mean, it's all fine. There are kind of different techniques, yeah. But like you see, so when you do this all black lines around, yeah. So you make like on top and the bottom. It makes it look more like cartoon style, let's say, yeah, like more graphic.
Yeah.
But that was I was mentioning a bit earlier, yeah. So we kind of, I do the line on the bottom because it's kind of shadow, yeah, but I try to avoid straight black line on top. Yeah, then I just more.
Oh, right, yeah, and I have. Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
I
then
never saw that.
Kind of darker.
That is a valid point. Let me use tissue so I can get it out.
Yeah, but I mean, for this one, it could perfectly stay because you have all this creative wood, yeah. So this log, it looks more really, you know, I like it, yeah. So
it's coming. No, once you say that, it is coming out. If I just, yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm taking out that. I'm just lifting just a bit that top bit. And then what I could do then is go, is go back when I do the wood. So make it lighter at the top.
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen that.
Yeah, so it could be also for the log, yeah, on the right side. Yeah, this kind of fat black line. And
yeah,
if you can blend it out, yeah, it would.
Well, what side's that? On the right.
So on the right, exactly. So where you have this falling,
yeah,
shadow, it's all good, yeah. It's all.
No, but tell me because I can't.
Yeah,
but I've got a bit carried away, like I do. And I don't always see it.
It's in general like the shadow is on one side, yeah, and then what happens, yeah, if we mix it, then it's kind of hard, maybe like for our
already that's working. Look, I'll show you. I'm lifting that top bit off. Don't get me wrong, this is nowhere near finished, but look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let me show you. So if I'm just literally lifting this off, and then I can go back when this is really dry. Looks weird because I've done it on its side, but gives you an idea. If you turn it round, you'll see what I want to.
Yes, yeah, but look, it already gives. I mean, the purple is left, but it's already kind of different.
Yeah. No, thank you, because I didn't even see. Do you know what? I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about somebody else looking at it, because you just don't see it sometimes, do you?
Yeah, it's something you know usually kind of just have to remember, yeah, and so of course generally, yeah, it should be also for these, vertical parts where the screws are, yeah, but it's so there is shadow kind of, that's why we all sometimes, you know, when I create a picture and then I combine, I take some elements from one photo, some elements from another, and and there sometimes I forget, but one has to be careful to see where the shadows are coming from.
No, I agree.
Then you put, okay, this has shadow here and this one the other side, then it looks like the brain might not even understand it's because of the shadows, but it's kind of something, it's
and sometimes if you put something literally as it is, it don't look right either, does it? You have to sometimes have artistic license and change it a little bit just to make it. I can see now on that lock, now you've said that, I can see on that lock I've done the same on the right, so I'm just taking that out a little bit, and on the padlock above it.
No, you just
as soon as you said it, I can see it now. Yeah, it's coming out.
No, but you're right. I really tend to do it like realistic way, and it should be in the end artistic more than right.
So I think I've got the padlock bit of my lock too forward. I think I need to put something. If you look at that picture, I think I've got, you know, the top of the padlock. I think that's too near the front. I need to put something above it.
You
See
mean
what I
this
mean?
vertical, this metal stuff?
It's a bit too. It's a bit too near the front of the box, so to speak. Of the. What if I put something light there? Let's get some white. Well, I'm thinking. I'm talking aloud. I'm thinking aloud here. No. Yeah, I think I'll leave that to dry and think about that. I'm not sure about that top bit. I think the top bit's too close.
But I really, really love all this. Yeah, watercoloring.
Yeah, no, my husband does as well. Anytime I do anything in watercolour, he's like, I like that the best. I think, oh, is it? It's all right. He's like, no, I like that. I don't like acrylic. I was like, okay. It'll be so right.
Yeah.
I think I might do this again. I think I'm going to do it. I'm not going to chuck this away, but I think I'm going to do this. You know, like you've done before. I think I'm going to do it again.
It's nice, yeah. Actually, I mean, I'm sure in your case, you will make it like you will get second grade painting. I mean, now could be different. Yeah.
Yeah, it just, you know, well, I probably end up with 3 paintings in the end because I want to do it in acrylic as well, but I don't have any acrylic. But I do have watercolour here and I've got more paper. But I'm thinking to myself, I think less says more. I'm not going to put so much colour on this next one. I'm going to have it dripping.
Yeah. Yeah, dripping is totally good.
Yeah, dripping, good idea, but not so much colour. I think I've gone a bit too crazy.
Not bloody dripping.
Yeah, too much colour in it.
Yeah, but I mean, still it works as a shadow. Yeah. So,
yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, because I've made it a bit too dainty as well, the actual lock looks like really, oh, that's really cute. But I think it needs to be more bolder, big. And then the lock, and then not so much paint. I've gone a bit crazy with the paint, and then just have those drips.
Yeah, good plan. But very great work on creating wood. Yeah, just with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I love it every week being with you guys. That's what I like.
I love you guys joining. It's really.
I think what makes it, that's what it is, isn't it? Because you bounce off each other.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, looking at that now, I can see on the actual padlock at the top that the left-hand side needs to be lighter. And that brings it out. Oh. A lot of his observation, though. You're right, isn't it? Keep looking.
And how did you go with the drops, Jules? Did you manage to remember the water drops? We were planning.
Yeah. Yeah, I've taken photos. That's what you need to do for me, Darren. Take more photos of water drops.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a lot, as you said before, it's not putting so much into it. It's having white bits, isn't it, for the light?
Yes.
It's like glass. I'm looking at, they've got here, if I turn that with
yeah.
They got a lot of glass on the side here. And it's looking at that, that's the same. You've got light. There's a dome there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a dome. It's got white bits at the top because that's the light. And it's the same kind of thing. Same kind of thing, isn't it? Like water drops. It's remember not to put so much on, keeping bits blank.
Yes. Yeah, but you're really right. So this part of highlight, it is essential. It's like when we do the eyes as well. Yeah. So yeah, and when we paint glass, yeah. So there's also, for example, good exercise when on one painting you put something wooden, something metal, yeah, and your aim is to create the feeling, yeah, that this spoon is from wood, and this spoon is from metal. Yes, and
right, okay.
Yeah, this kind of game of creating this. Yeah, what was the third material or something? Yeah, I remember in the.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Like what you were doing with Darren, when you took your phone away with Darren's, it's the same here. Now I've stuck this on the floor, and I can see now there's not enough light in this at all. I need to put more white in.
That's what I was saying, like coming back with the highlight. Yeah, so you can especially, but that's important. You kind of also decided before, because you decide which part is important of the painting. Yeah, where you want people to look. Of course, it's connected also like the light is falling, but so this kind of few strokes, making this accent in the end. This is what one should always come back, because of course we lose it. Yeah, I put it in this part, because it's the main part. Then I go all around with background and other details, and it gets lost. And then I need to come back and put more black or more white, or yellow. So So in the end, that's the game.
Yeah, I might. I might go to the shop this afternoon and get some white acrylic, so I can just put.
Just to pour down on the.
We've got a garden at the back. I always go out the garden. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jules. Yeah, you give me back your creativity. Sometimes maybe you should, Jules, set us the task, and I'll be following, and not making it realistic, but making emotional, abstract.
Yeah.
You could be definitely a good teacher on that one.
It's like in my job, I put my notice in at work this week.
Yes, I remember.
And my boss said to me, "Can I have one of your paintings?"
Oh, bless.
I was like, okay. So he's going to have it in the office. So when he's on Teams on the computer, he's got it in the background.
Oh,
yeah. So that'd be nice. I was like, okay. My leaving present.
Yeah, but I'm interested in which one you'll give him, which painting.
Oh, I went to Oxford. I had to show you the picture. I don't think I've got it. I might have it. I went to Oxford with my boss, and we went to a bar on top of the roofs. And there was rainbows and everything. And I did one of it. Let me have a look. Let's see if I got it. And he wants that picture. Where is it? Do I have it?
Not not sure I'm happy about my right-hand piece of wood, but
yeah, I'm still waiting for you, Darren, to send the update. So
yeah, I think I'm there, but as I say, I'm not totally happy with that right-hand side bit, but I'm happy with the lock bit, where I think I've made it a bit clearer via clasp it there, but oh wow, Jules, that's nice.
Yes, but that was real life. There was a rainbow like that, and we were looking at the rooftops.
Really, it was like see this straight. I mean, not curvy, but
no, it wasn't, and it wasn't straight. You know, they blend, don't they? Because of the light, it was bouncing everywhere. It wasn't quite right. And my boss said, he goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe it is raining and everything." And we're sitting on this bar on top of the roofs. It was lovely, and all these chimney pots. I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing that." We're on about Darren, your right hand side. I think is one of the best.
It looks better actually on the phone screen, but it does actually in person, to be honest. Because it's just got a bit better there actually. So yeah, look at it that way.
So well, I've missed it. So which side you didn't really like? The right one.
It was the right hand side, the bit which you felt was a bit too vibrant just now.
Yeah. I agree with Jules. It feels very good. It feels also wood. Yeah. So no. The thing now that something appeared. Yeah. These like two teeth under the log. Yeah. So these two yellow marks. Yeah. One on one side of the shadow of the log, and the other side. So these two stripes. Yeah. Now it's. Maybe too much.
Just maybe sort of dull them a bit, perhaps. Yeah.
So like, and it looks like maybe like teeth. You know, they're a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe I would just the one on the left side with the shadow. Yeah, just lower a little bit because they just like look to the same a bit jumping out. Yeah. So the one on the right looks nice because it has also this company a bit on top. Yeah. No, it's cool. I love all the parts of wood.
Yeah, I've just put a bit of the sort of grey blue paint, a very fine wash over it, just sort of dull it a bit. So
you
I think that sort of dulls it a bit then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like grey, like brown, watery, and there is even a word for this technique. I might know only the Russian version, but that's how also some people are painting. Yeah, you put one layer, and the next layer is kind of half transparent, so allows you to see the first one, but at the same moment it changes the tone. Cool. Is the rainbow
that seagull?
Yeah, is it on canvas, Jules? You're painting with the rainbow.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I bought loads of them because they were really, really cheap. There was only £3 a canvas. I was like, I'm having loads of those. So yeah, it's just it was just sitting there, and it was just a moment in time.
Yeah.
So it's that moment that you remember.
Exactly. That's what makes it. Yeah, you catch the moment that it's personal. And
yeah, he remembers it. I remember it. So I say you can remember the batty woman that you used to work with when you look at it. No, everybody's been crying this week. It's been a very hard week this week. I've had my boss's boss crying because I'm leaving. I've only been there a year and a half. So yeah, it's not been
but you excited for your new job?
Yeah, I started on the 1st of November. And it's. I've always dreamt of working in a university, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah. So I never thought, I come from a very poor background. I never thought in a million years that I would be able to work in a university. So yeah, I'm quite excited.
Good one. Amazing.
Seagulls.
I can hear it, yeah.
Well, you've got a seagull bird, Jules. You've probably not heard it, but throughout most of its classroom, although he's disappeared now, I've had my next door neighbour's cat trying to get in.
No.
Basically, they've gone on holiday, so Melanie is almost house sitting him sort of thing. But he sort of adopted us, and yesterday he was inside the house terrorising rabbits for most of the day, and he's been at the patio door sort of thing going, let me in.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah, no. Okay. What I will do then is I'll let this dry, and then I'll put I'll go down the shops and get some white acrylic, and then I'll put the highlights in. Then I'll send a photo.
Sounds good. I will wait for the update then.
So, and I look forward. Are we going to do the butterfly and flower and?
Yes.
Bee?
I was really amazed with this one. So I don't know. I can copy from Facebook maybe, or better maybe Darren can send us.
I'll send it to you in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, that would be best. Yeah, and I will try to do my best. Maybe some creative, abstractive butterfly.
I'm going to shock you one day. And do something very traditional, and you'll go, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you? You're not well." Gonna have a lay down. All right. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good bank holiday, Darren, and take care, TV.
See you later. Take care.
Bye,
Cheers, everyone. Bye. Take care.
Bye.